Welcome to Unfiltered Three, spilling the tea with
Cece,
Autumn,
and Brie.
Hi, friends.
welcome back. Today we thought we'd dive into the age-old question. Age. I've mentioned a couple times that I'm a little older than my girls here. And I got to thinking, I know I'm older, but we're so similar on so many levels. And then we got into a little discussion of what age really is to us. So we thought maybe we'd stop it there and continue and share it with you guys.
Yeah, I think it was in our travel episode that we actually
Hinted a
briefly
little bit.
talked on it. Yeah. I don't remember how we got into it, but I started talking about how I'm not afraid of getting older. I don't people like to tease, oh, you're going to be 30 soon. Oh, that's so old. And I feel like that only gets more and more as you get older. And then you have kids that are calling you old, and the whole, oh, you're still gonna card me. I look 21. Oh, thank you so much for the compliment. Like, those things don't resonate with me. I'm living and going day by day. Age is just a construct, bro.
I think especially like when you've already hit, like you hit 10, you hit 16, you hit 18, you hit 21. And then after 21, it's like, woo. And then you hit 30, right? And you could have the perspective of, oh my God, I'm old, I'm dying, whatever. You can have the perspective of like, oh, hey, this is a new chapter.
Yeah.
And that's my perspective, because I turn 30 in November. And when this episode comes out, I turn 30 next Wednesday.
Happy almost birthday.
So I haven't dreaded it though. Like to me, it's a new chapter. Like I can take what I learned in my 20s and apply them to my 30s and make better choices and have new experiences. And it's almost like, and I think this was similar to the conversation that we had, but it's like at least for me, I am more comfortable with who I am now. And so I'll probably have insecurities, and the ones, there'll be some past ones or some new ones, but I'm almost comfortable with, like with them while they're still there and they're a battle that I face every day. Like I know them.
Right.
Yeah.
So I know how to handle them when they happen and how to grow through it.
Yeah.
And to apply that into like the
That's
next.
very interesting. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No,
but
that's okay.
I've never heard it like that, and that is like such a great, what's the word, analogy, or a perspective that you have put it in. That I'm like, holy, you're like blowing my mind right now. The way you put it.
Well, thank you. I'm normally horrible with words.
We all have our moments, but yeah. Again, I always like to praise that this is why I love having conversations with you guys.
Yeah,
You throw out a different way for me to see it, and all of a sudden things snap into place, and I'm like, oh, it makes so much sense right there.
Yeah, it could also be because I'm about to turn 30. It has been on my mind.
Yeah.
And, like having the growth and having the constant mental health talk with you guys, it's something that I'm kind of always working on and have been for a while. And so it's just how to apply what I've learned into this next chapter of life and enjoy it. I don't want to go in negative.
Yeah. I mean, I've been struggling with that a little bit, being in my late 30s.
Yeah, it's another.
Yeah. And they always say, like, you're going to hit this moment where you're like, what am I doing with my life? But, like, it kind of is creeping up on me a little bit where I'm like, going through the things I've gone through the last couple of years have been like, I'm not where I thought I would be.
Yeah.
And so it's really, like, in my face, especially when you hit those, like, certain even numbers and whatnot. Like, those zeros. That's what really, I feel like, shoves it in your face. Especially when you're
zeros and fives.
Yes. Yeah. Your whole life you have, you celebrate being born, and then you get to a point in life where the years come by and there's less and less celebration Like we should still celebrate. We should be happy that we're turning older.
That's why I do. It's like for every birthday, I try and throw a party if there isn't already one. Because, like, it's still your day. It's your day. And you should be able to celebrate it however you wish. You know, if you don't like parties, it doesn't have to be that. It could be a singular cupcake with a candle.
Yeah.
Whatever you need or like. But you should celebrate yourself. Because a perspective to go off of what you said were to be
Is to be or not to be?
That is the question that I'm asking myself right now. Shit. That's gone.
Yeah.
It grew wings and flew away.
The second I saw your face, I was like, she doesn't remember? I don't remember. I can't even get her back on track.
Oh, yeah. So looking back on where you're at now and then looking back on how you got here and celebrating that you got here and just knowing that through all of that was growth. It was change that you needed to go through. You shed, you shed some of your self that needed to be let go so that you could have new opportunities to grow in new ways or, whatever case that may be. And to celebrate this new chapter and look forward to getting to do that in other ways again.
Yeah.
Is where I was trying to go. And then I lost it. Then it came back.
Yeah. That's the one that's very similar to what I was going to say on that is like the looking back. And I feel like people get stuck on where am I in life? I feel like I should have been here or I should have been doing this. Like you start to have those regrets. And I made a promise to myself pretty young that like I was going to live my life with no regrets. What decisions I make, the mistakes, the celebrations, all of it is a part of me and my journey. And, I'm alive, right? Like that's something that was huge for me is I'm making it another year. So I'm not going to spend that time that I have regretting what I did and didn't do.
Yeah. There's so many what ifs that run through my head a lot. And I don't like it. It's not cool because you can't go back and change it. So why do those thoughts just like slip in there? It's frustrating.
I would say that whatever your what ifs are pertaining to, maybe that's a moment where you need to take a step and maybe do some discovery there. Maybe there's something to learn and to heal and to grow from.
I definitely always think there's room to grow and learn from. I feel like I kind of know what it's supposed to be those lessons. Like I wouldn't be who I am and where I am without those choices. And I love where I am and who I am. So it's not that I want to change it. It's just the persistent thoughts always sneak in. Like,
right,
I don't care what if, but what if?
Yeah.
I hope that does make sense.
You know what's helped me on this kind of train of thought? Tattoos. It's something I've always wanted. I've got my first one at 18, and people always say like, oh, when you get old, it's going to look gross, it's going to be wrinkly, whatever. And that's like the first time I came across it. I'm like, okay, but this is something that's meaningful to me now that I want to get now, and I'm always going to cherish this time. And there's things on my, like, tattoos are different for everyone. Some people just get it for the fun of it. Some people, like me, have really emotional attachment to their tattoos. My tattoos to me are like personal journals on my own body. And there may be some on my body where I wouldn't get that now, but I wanted it and it was very meaningful to me at the time. And so I love it. And I'm in doing that, I am loving that part of myself. So I'm never going to regret a tattoo, just like I'm never going to have those regrets in life.
The other like side of that kills me is like wrinkles.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's why do we look at the natural progression of aging and cringe and only allow ourselves to appreciate this 15 years or 10 years or whatever where we're like truly at our peak, right? And then we have the, de-aging or aging getting whatever.
Yep.
Getting older.
Your body is degrading. You're getting wrinkles.
Yeah.
You're graying hair.
The downward side of it.
Yeah.
And we say ew, and instead of cherishing it and appreciating it and knowing that I've reached this next stage of life and it's still just as beautiful as when you're in your 20s. Like my grandmother is gorgeous. She's gorgeous. And I think she's 70, 80 years old.
Honestly, same when it comes to grandparent ages.
I don't know.
They're in there.
But she's so pretty. I mean, like, I absolutely love her, but she's a gorgeous woman. And I don't see the wrinkles. Like, I don't look at older people. I see them. Like, I don't see, I don't know. Maybe I'm just different, but I'm just like, we have these 15 years, right, of being at our peak, or maybe it's longer. I don't really know. I just threw that number out there. And then we spend the rest of our life wishing we looked like we did just for those 50, like what?
And buying products.
Yeah.
And lots of trials of like frustration. And
like take care of yourself. I'm all for having a skincare routine and doing sunblock and the whole whole 9 yards. Botox, I see the plus side of them, especially with like migraines and TMJ and stuff of that nature. But it's like, don't hate on yourself if you have a wrinkle. Don't unlove yourself because you have aging.
Yeah.
So I 1,000% agree with that. But as someone who's a little older and is really starting to notice the wrinkles here and there, I think it's more of a like, I'm looking in the mirror and seeing the face that I've looked at for so long is changing here and there. And it's this sort of...
Yeah, I understand that.
Like, that's me.
Yeah.
Versus how I see myself. The outside versus the inside, I guess.
Yeah, I feel like there's two perspectives there. The people who just want to chase the youth, and then the people who, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, at least for you, but I feel like it may stem from like the fear of dying, the fear of actually like reaching that point.
That probably that roots deep with me.
Yeah.
I don't like not knowing things, so that's a big one of, I can think what I want. Everyone can think what they want, but nobody truly knows. And it's sort of, that's a scary thought.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I have to be with Bree on this, and I'm not afraid of death. And maybe that's why I can hold that perspective. But like for what you said about like seeing the age, to me, I relate to seeing I gained a lot of weight within a year. So I have a lot of stretch marks on my body, and my body has changed in that way where I didn't have any of that growing up. I was a very tiny child. So now I have that stuff. And I think that maybe has helped me prepare for that and kind of still love myself even though I have those changes on my body.
Oh yeah. I think body image talk and self-talk definitely play a role in like that self-talk again with aging, because it is still part of your body. That is, it may not be weight related, but your body is changing and you don't have control over it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just so you know, I got stretch marks too, girl.
No, I know. I'm just saying, like, seeing that
example.
change. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, this is one of those other things where I go, everyone's different and they still struggle with the same shit. And you think, oh, that person's got their stuff together, or, whatever. They deal with the same shit you do.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I'm definitely more comfortable in my body than I've ever been. But that doesn't mean I'm comfortable in my body.
Yes, I understand that deeply.
Like I definitely still have my insecurities and body dysmorphia and all that. But it's having that mindset change and trying to have that different perspective is what I try to do.
Yeah. I mean, every once in a while I can look in the mirror and be like, all right, damn, we're doing all right. And I feel like everyone should have more of those moments.
Yeah. Yeah.
But, where was I going?
Oh no.
Shit.
Oh my God. if we had a visual podcast, every time this happens, I would just put ... dots above our head.
I'd have a counter.
That too. How many times, please, guys, if you're listening, count how many times we've lost our train of thought and then put it in the comments of whatever comment section you want.
Make a compilation.
Oh, God. Too many.
That's actually really funny. We should do that. Or someone should do that and share it with us.
That'd be hilarious.
So I was going to say, I didn't even think of that concept in that way with how close age is tied to how the media and society puts that pressure on us on having a certain look. Like, obviously I knew that with aging, but I'm like, even young with kids with style and I don't want to get too far into triggers.
Yeah.
You know, that pressure of how we want to look. We're both chasing it when we're young and growing up, and then once we're in that prime era, needing to make sure we stay that way.
Yeah.
And then as we get older, that pressure of wanting to go back, and as far as like the societal thing, not the more deeper emotional aspect of it. Yeah, it's all connected, and I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of that.
No,
That's just the
media. Everywhere. It is
it's
oversaturated market.
I mean, it's even down to like in family settings when it's a toddler or something commenting on the weight of them and things like that. Like, it's just so ingrained into our society and culture. I hate it.
Yeah. And I just want to say, like, I know you guys are the same way. Like, if you want to get plastic surgery, if you want to do that, if you want to, do you. Do you.
It's your life. You have one life to live. Make the most of it.
But I would hope that people stop glorifying those things. Like, if you want to do them, absolutely. But all the celebrities, like, will go get their nose done. And then all the kids see it and go, that's kind of the norm. That's how I remember looking at celebrities thinking that's the norm.
Yeah, I think that's also learning, like, where that stems from and how they are. Like, so we see, like, that outside point of view of media. It's not really a topic that we need to get too far into right now because it could be a whole topic of its own. But I think it comes down to how they are literally in the thick of that ingrained into our societal culture. Like, they are in the middle of it at all times. In points of their life, they're being looked at, judged, compared. Like, that's how they get their success. So we see all this plastic surgery because of that.
It's just, however you get into it, whether it is plastic surgery, whether it is working out, whether it's, I don't know, skincare, the decisions you make, like just making it out of love for yourself.
Yes.
Yeah.
Instead of out of fear or want and desire of being a certain way.
Yeah, pleasing others.
Right. Yeah. Take care of yourself. Like, I do yoga every day, not because I want to be flexible, not because I want to lose a bunch of weight and get abs. Like, I do it every day because it's my connection to myself and that I'm taking care of my body, and that's how I feel good in my body. It has nothing to do with any of the rest. It's just for me.
Yeah.
And I want so badly to be able to just spread that to someone else whenever they talk about themselves, they talk down to themselves, when they talk about aging in that way. And it's just like, you are amazing just the way you are. Bruno Mars. No, it just popped into my head. But seriously, love yourself just the way you are. You are beautiful and perfect just as is. You don't need to do anything else. You can just live as you are today in each moment.
I feel that.
Yeah. And then just, when you make those big changes, whether it is Botox and stuff of that nature, making sure it's for you. Just simply ask yourself, is this for me or is this for someone else? And if it's for you, fucking do it. You got one life. Be happy.
And
That's
guess what? Don't regret it. Don't feel guilt for it.
Yeah, no.
You did that for you. Be proud of yourself. Love yourself.
Yep.
That was your decision. And stick with it. Don't hate yourself up into this point and do all or whatever you're going through and working through to get up to that point. And then once you get to that point, you make that decision, you cross the line, then not feel anything but guilt and shame about doing that thing. Allow yourself to be happy.
Yes. Yep. It's like making the choice to not do it for others and then not allowing others' points of view to infiltrate yours if you're not loving.
Yeah.
Yep. Absolutely. So a different concept of age I think would be fun to talk on is how the three of us, like none of us are the same age. Bree and I are definitely closer in age.
Yeah.
But it doesn't feel that way. Like if you were, when like people ask me or they bring it up, like I forget that we have an age difference. Like it doesn't, it's just not a factor, at least for me. It's not a factor in our relationship or our experiences or encounters. How do you guys feel?
I don't let it affect me whatsoever because I don't think it's a big deal. The only time I might laugh about it is when you guys reference something and I was like, what's that from? You know? Like there's a couple of those moments and then that's like, oh yeah. Like I was a little too old for that. And that's what I'll be reminded. But then I don't care, you know? It's just those little moments go, oh yeah. We're just a little reminder here.
Those moments are filled with love for me though. Because of the way I grew up and finally making that connection of how old you actually are compared to us. Only because like until I actually hear someone's name within our friend or age within our friend group, I have no idea how old you are. It does really feel like we're all the same age. And I know you're older, but how much older? I have no clue. So once I got that perspective, you are slightly younger than my sister, but you're still more in her age range. And she was the person I spent the most time with outside of school. And she was very active when I was even a baby, like taking care of me, giving me the 90s music and the 90s culture. And so whenever you make a reference to something, I might know it or I can relate it to my sister. And it just makes me so happy because like I still have that connection to that aspect that other people around my age didn't really have because they were the oldest or they were the first ones in that generation. They weren't hanging out with people that much older than them.
Yeah.
So it's nice to have around.
I always feel like even though there's that age difference, like it's a reminder also that no matter how old you are, like you can still go through the same shit and connect and not to dismiss someone because they might be younger or older because those friendships can be so valuable because I don't know where I'd be without you guys. I love you guys so much.
I love you.
Yeah, that's one of my pet peeves, honestly. I think, again, because I spent so much time with my sister. Like, she was my friend, not just someone who babysat me. Is the people around my age, especially slightly older than me, or even my grade, talking about people younger than us. Having that, like, mindset of, oh, you're younger than me, and I'm, like, so much cooler or smarter, or, like, have these different experiences than you. And, like, yes, I get during, like, the transitional times, the middle school to high school.
It's fast-paced.
It's fast-paced. You're going through the different life moments at a different time, but once you graduate and you kind of end up in the same area and you go through different milestones at different times, like there's really not much difference.
Yeah.
And like I have someone like back then when they were trying to give me advice or something like that, I'm like, I look at them, I'm like, I have someone who's 10 years older or 12 years older than me who has already gone through this and isn't in the middle of going through this that I can get my advice from. So we're really not as different as you think we are because we're both going through it right now. So don't like hold that over me because I don't see you like that.
Yeah.
Oh, it would piss me off in high school. There was one of my sister's friends around their age. She's a teacher, so she was actually teaching a group that I was in the age range of. I think it was in 8th grade. And she would talk to me like a baby.
Yeah.
Oh, I hated that.
Yeah, I've had that experience where like you're at like a function or something with a bunch of people, whether it be family or friends, and they'll be like, "Oh, the kids can do this." But you're fucking 25. Like, I understand we're younger than you. I really do. But I'm not a kid. I've lived on my own for the last, at that time, 6 years. I pay my own bills. I do my own dishes. I'm an adult in every way, shape, or form. Please do not refer to me as the kids and then be like, well, the kids can do this. The adults are going to do this. Like, it's exclusive to being an adult. And I'll never reach that adult status. Drives me crazy.
I feel like it feels like they're just depriving me down to an age instead of seeing me as a person. Because I feel like, at least when you're not an adult, I mean, once you're an adult, they're an adult. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
But when they're a kid, at least, like, make that decision and feel out how to talk to them based off of your interactions with them, not just because of their age.
Yeah. I think a lot of conversations get missed that way.
Yeah.
Oh, there's so many I think that I missed out on because my mom might have saw me as her child at a certain age rather than a person, but not
like
a person.
That true deep interaction of like
myself,
you,
like as a
or who you were then versus what she had in your mind of who you were
as an age.
Yeah, like she's not seeing you for who you are in that moment that you're having that interaction. She's seeing you as the version she wants to remember or whatever.
I feel like it's so hard for parents to get out of that mindset of you're my kid versus you're an adult.
I have a different experience.
Yeah.
And it's very different from both of you. I was 18, I was an adult. I mean, my parents still, like, don't get me wrong, it wasn't, like, as strict or hard as, like, throwing you out, you're getting your own place. But, like, my dad didn't want me to leave when I moved out or whatever happened. But it was more so, like, I was allowed the freedom and respect as an adult. Like, they made that change of, like, okay, we're going to talk to you and treat you like an adult. And it was never demeaning. It was always respectful. But I also have a very different type of relationship with my parents due to our paths and our journeys.
Yeah. Parenting's a whole other.
Oh boy, that's a deep one.
It's like age. It's wrapped around so much.
It really is. I didn't think about that too deeply when we sat down to talk about this conversation, but it really is tied to so much.
Yeah.
Yeah. Every little choice,
Thought I had earlier was I don't know if I've ever really let age stop me from having a friendship. So like I lived in a neighborhood when I lived in Virginia. I lived in a neighborhood that had a whole different array of ages when it came to the friends that I had in my neighborhood. And some of them were, my sister alone is 8 years younger than me. And then some of them were 5 years younger than me, 6 years younger than me. Some of them were only 2. Some of them were a year older than me. And so, like, there's such a wide array of ages that I don't see it in a friendship, I guess. It doesn't stick out to me. Like, I just see the person. So I guess that was good exposure.
Yeah.
I feel like I've never had that. Like, I don't know how to say this.
Well, it's like, it was a thought going off of, like, what Bree said about, like, oh, I'm 16 and you're 15. I'm cool. Like, I
was never
that. I never got that.
I will say I saw it, most of the people I saw it with, I'm not saying everyone who did this did that. But if they started the school year, this is in grade school, if they started the school year as a 4-year-old instead of already being 5, so they started technically early, they typically, like, even though the grade below them, they are the same age as them for most of the year, depending on where the cutoff is and where you fit, they would have the like, oh, I'm in the higher grade, I'm older than you sort of mindset.
I mean, I would throw that because I was that person. I would throw that out, but in like a joking manner.
Yeah, but there are people, like I had a best friend who actually like took that seriously, and she was in my grade talking about the grade below us. I'm like, shut up.
I definitely know
That's
people
fine.
like that were like that, but I was never like that. I was hanging out with freshmen when I was a senior because I was like, they're just kids too, going through the same shit.
I mean, I was hanging out with juniors and seniors when I was a freshman.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
I don't know. I have it from your friend in high school. Like, I have that different perspective. Like, I would only throw out, well, like, I'm a senior, you're a junior, if they commented on my age.
Yeah, you could have some fun with it for sure. Like the fourth graders sat at the back of the bus. That was the thing in our school.
But like, I didn't really notice it as much until I moved down to Virginia because their cutoff is so much earlier than up here in New York.
What's theirs?
Theirs is like the end of September, early October.
Oh.
Ours is the end of November.
Yeah.
So I was the youngest person in my grade and half of the junior class.
Damn, I did not know that.
So it's like, I was just like, no one really knew. Like, whenever someone would find out or whatever, they would be like, wait, what?
Yeah.
And I'd be like, yeah, because it doesn't matter.
That should have been your icebreaker fun fact.
I'm the youngest one in our grade. I remember a coach cheerleader of mine and like one of my friends in high school, when she thought she was the youngest and her birthday was the beginning of August.
Oh.
Yeah. And she was like, I thought I was the youngest. I was like, no, girl, that's me. Unless there's someone else from another state coming here.
Right.
I hold that title.
What an experience.
Yeah.
Like just that thought of like everyone I'm friends with and surrounded by in this grade, like I'm the youngest person.
Yeah. I didn't really have that thought though. Like,
No.
like I was like, oh, cool. That's cool. Whatever. When I found out. But I had such a wide variety of friends in high school. Like, I didn't stick to one grade. I had my friends that were my age and in my grade. And then I had friends, a good amount of friends that were the grade below me. And then maybe not the grade after them, but then the grade after them when my neighborhood friends came up into high school. So yeah. No, the grade after the juniors, I had one friend. That's right. Yeah, see, I had a friend in every grade. But that's like also how I was with like groups too. Like, I was the person that was just, when I was feeling social and not have social anxiety, I was friends with whoever. I could talk to whoever. I liked whoever.
I wonder what shapes that perspective. Not just ours, but like the people who like that actually matters and takes that seriously. Just makes me wonder, because I can't, like, I would need to have that person across from me and be like, talk. Yeah. Let's have this conversation that we're having right now together.
Like, yeah. Get in there.
Yeah.
I'm curious.
Let me psychoanalyze you.
I want to learn.
Ooh, so if that's you listening, please let us know. I'm definitely curious.
Yeah, that would be good. Very nice to share.
With no judgment, ever.
Yeah.
No judgment. All love.
Anywhere else we need to explore?
All I can think of now is you're more like, it's more time. We should talk about time next. Ooh, should we pull a card?
Okay, yeah, like that idea. Let's pull a card. All right, guys. We're gonna go to the cards and see what the cards have to say about age.
Age. What do you have to say? What should we talk about next?
Okay.
Princess of Cups.
Just one card? Was that all
I feel a twofer. I'm going to try one more time.
Okay. Wow. Wow. Should we try a third time? Because that was pretty quick.
That was the King of Pentacles. These cards really like to pop out, and I appreciate that about them.
It's reversed.
10 of Swords reverse. That's interesting. Looking at the cards, the princess, so the first card and the third card have a very similar color scheme.
Mm-hmm.
And then the first, second, and the card that we're counting on the side are both just singular people with their hands in front of their bellies, their
I see that.
chakra center.
Princess of Cups. Subconscious messages swim through your conscious mind, receiving intuition messages from within. The Princess of Cups brings you inspiration to create, to trust your insight, and to listen to your intuition. She asks you to be open-minded about new experiences, emotions, and how messages can take form. This news can be subtle or extreme, so trust your gut instincts on what it's trying to tell you. Pay attention to synchronistic events and symbols in dreams, for it is your guide delivering you a message. Let your emotions come out to play with free rein. Vulnerability is your strength, so wear your open heart on your sleeve. Express yourself freely, as open and innocent as a curious child. Answers to questions may appear in surprising and playful ways. To me, this resonated with the conversation that you and I just had about how you subconsciously, like those what ifs that are coming into your brain, are subconscious reminders that maybe you have a part of like whatever it's trying to say that is growth for you. And that's why they're still popping up. Even though you truly are happy and you're content, it's still a spot of growth is what popped up in my mind with this card. And then just being open-minded through the process and allowing yourself to love the growth because you are growing.
I kept hearing that it's okay to mourn who you were because you love who you are.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It's also like that's the process of growth, right? Is
allow yourself to
yeah.
move on
Yes.
from who you were.
Yep.
And love each version of who you are.
And
right now.
and look back on them fondly
Yeah.
with love.
Yeah. That's what I kept running through my brain as you were talking.
I connected it to at least back to my spiritual journey, which in turn connects with the self-healing journey and this growth that you come into. And it also touched on your idea of like you still feel so much younger than what you look like on the outside. And that when she was reading about having that like childlike look on the world, like I think that's something that's very important to cherish, is like having that and not getting into the societal, not getting into the fact that you're getting older, and always look with curious eyes, holding on to that wonder and that childlike aspect of you, because that is also very human.
Yeah. I struggle with I guess that saying, like, dress your age. That gets me a lot because I love pastels and fun things and fun colors and cool prints. And sometimes I feel like I can't wear what I truly want to wear because someone else will judge me. And I hate that. I hate that feeling.
Yeah.
I don't like it at all.
Yeah. Act your age, dress your age, and putting you into a box.
I do have to say I like that as this like the newer generations of children are growing up, that is changing. I don't want to say it's being pushed out because it's still there. It's still very much there, but it is changing. There is growth there. Like, but it's a lot of, not to group people, but it is a lot of the older generation that do that.
Yeah. I mean, think about how they grew up in a very different world than today.
Yeah, now we're getting into like the generational stuff, and that is my favorite thing to think about and talk about. Is like not just our journey as our own individual humans, but the journey of humankind and how we got to where we are today and where we are as in a society and any aspect. And looking back down the generations of how that came to be and why things are the way they are, and the interactions between those generations are really interesting too. Especially when things are changing. Like, change is scary. I get that.
Yeah.
And sometimes that comes with difficult conversations. Yeah. It's
I know.
I want to deep dive into that. That's a whole
I'm like,
conversation.
how deep are we gonna go into that? Because
I would personally like to have that as like one of our healing journey topics.
Yeah.
Like, I'm game for that.
Sounds good.
What's the next one?
King of Pentacles. I will say really quickly, the whole time we were having that conversation, I feel it. Maybe that's just because I see the visuals in front of me, but I feel it in my belly. That like confidence in yourself, that growth, that nurturing of yourself through this conversation and concept. I feel it.
I will say, like, the more you talk out loud about it, whether that be your insecurities or your motivators or your confidence, or like, it helps that growth. Like, the more you actually say it out loud and you talk to people and you connect with people on it, and you're like, oh, she actually has the same thing, or she's going through, or she's had those thoughts. Like, what? I'm not singular in that. And then just kind of feeling that, but on an external level, is so beneficial.
I can't praise that more people hear that enough. Like, yeah.
You put my gut feelings into words.
We're so in tune.
All right, the King of Pentacles. Large and in charge, capital in all forms, the King of Pentacles is a sign of security, financial prosperity, and worldly gains. Your businessman proven models, multiple ventures, and growing enterprises. His energy exudes ambition and confidence, rising with every turn of profit he's ever made. He's committed and responsible to living his best life, which includes security and financial success. He is a provider, his richness supplying holistic wealth. Opportunities are aplenty. If you are hardworking, open, and earnest, there is a richness in his vibration, which carries from his appearance to his spirituality. Seeking quality over quantity will raise your vibration around people, places, and things. Take pleasure in profit and watch your wealth reach fulfilling heights.
2 things. You cannot start a reading with large and in charge and expect me to listen to the rest of the words. My brain was immediately laughing because I was not expecting that in a tarot deck. And had to just like, I just put my face in my pop filter on my mic.
I saw it on the corner of my eye.
Because I was like, do not react.
I was like, I think she was listening intently.
Yes, that's what she was trying to do.
Oh my God.
And now secondly, the card itself. So how I related to the card was that societal aspect of pushing the quick fixes for wrinkles and anti-aging creams and so on and so forth, and the image of not being able to have wrinkles or aging spots or sunspots or whatever the case may be as you're aging, pushing that down and not taking too much of that, but still taking care of yourself, like still having that skincare routine, still having, sunblock and stuff of that nature, and still putting the nurture into yourself. And then through that, you'll see the last part of that card, which is the growth, whether that be financially or mentally or spiritually, physically, whatever the case may be. You'll see that end result because you took care of yourself. You didn't feed into the toxicity of the society.
Mine went a little different.
Me too. I'm curious to hear how you interpreted this.
I heard like as we get older and we progress in our career, we have this goal of attaining financial wealth and climbing the ladder and getting as much money as you can, and then retire beautifully, have lavish homes, like that chase of that hustle and like doing the most, people who at least fit that. And at the same time, money doesn't buy happiness. Like, you can be as rich as ever and not be fulfilled. And so I feel like there's that mindset of either chasing that wealth financially or chasing that comfort, chasing that what actually truly fulfills you, whether that's being a middle class family with a couple kids and you just lived your life the way you wanted to, not chasing something that you feel like you have to have. Obviously, you want to feel comfortable. You don't, like, I get that aspect of it. I'm not discounting that. But it's more so like when we say be grateful for where you are in the moment, truly feeling grateful for where you are and who you're with, and not worrying about the money and the goals that you want to reach in life per se. Like, truly just loving yourself in that moment and growing with that, so that when you do get older, you don't have those regrets. I guess it comes back down to that for me.
Well, because I think it comes down to, like, when you're older, you probably don't look on those moments, those little things, or you're going to look on the small moments that you had and you're going to cherish those, and you're going to be like, oh, I wish I had more of those, or I wish I did this. Like, when you're really at that age of like, oh, wow, death is coming.
Yeah.
It's right there. You're not going to be like, oh, I wish I had $1 million in my bank account.
Yeah.
Like, that's just, that's not, that doesn't feed a purpose to you in that moment anymore. But to talk, or to a thought that I had, or a saying that I've heard, as far as like, you could be the richest person in the world and not have that fulfillment, is like, you can have everything you possibly could imagine materialistically and be so lonely, so incredibly lonely. And I think that that's something that's not talked about. All people see is the pro, like, oh, he can go out and he can buy whatever he wants. He can have a shopping spree. He doesn't have to work, or whatever the case may be. And they don't see that that person's probably very, not all, I don't want to, group people again, but they can be lonely. They can be so incredibly lonely.
Yeah.
Because they haven't nurtured themselves in their relationships in the way that they need to.
Exactly. Just like on the flip side coin of that, if they still had all the money and riches in the world, it comes down to those little moments and choosing to live in that moment and being grateful for where they are and loving who they're with and doing the things that bring them that fulfillment.
I'm going to say, I think this is the first time we all interpreted a card differently.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I kind of love that.
Yeah.
I heard right off the bat confidence and how much people need to, how I need to, because that's how I interpreted this card, was that I need to work on that. And I need to work hard, and it will pay off, that I see myself in a little bit better light if I work at it, and that wealth is going to be my confidence.
Like having the confidence in being you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Good.
Yeah. That's what I kept hearing.
You're bringing it back to that solar plexus energy. Like, I'm connecting it back to that design on the cards. I'm feeling it in my gut. It's that confidence, the confidence center, where that comes from. There is a lot of confidence tied to having a healthier view on age and aging.
What is this last card?
Kind of last card.
Yeah, kind of.
It's the 10 of Swords reversed.
10 of Swords reversed. Dramatic events have led you to strongly reevaluate all areas of your life. You're letting go of what does not serve you anymore, purging all the excess baggage so that you can begin a new cycle, wise from your life experiences. Old beliefs no longer resonate with you, and you are shifting your perspective. Avoiding change to avoid pain just prolongs the inevitable. Personal transformation requires that you let go of something old so that you can make room for something new. Constant thought chatter about worst-case scenarios has you worrying about the future, paralyzing you from living in the present. Take inventory of thoughts, beliefs, and attitudes, and clearly label the ones you want to keep and the ones you want to throw away. Allow your awareness to help you grow from your experiences.
I think that touches on Autumn's point beautifully with the what ifs and that growth. I feel like that really put a bigger, deeper perspective, put it in all the words of like
just living in the moment and allowing, the what ifs. But like that's a great description of it.
Yeah. It also like the what ifs, but also I kept hearing introspection. Right? So taking it out of those anxiety thoughts of, oh, I should have done this, I should have did, what if I did this, what if I did that? And more so of like, where am I at now? Who am I? What makes up me? What are the thoughts that are me? And what do I want to take with me as I get older? What do I want to stay with and nurture and grow versus shed and let go and grow? Because a lot of aging is growth, true growth. Don't just stay in whatever you're going through right now, allowing yourself to actually move and grow as you age. Because I don't think everyone does that.
No,
unfortunately,
not mentally.
I feel like the idea of like considering your elders the wise old ones, I feel like as a human society, we used to be a lot more in touch spiritually. And so maybe the elders were the wise, mature, old ones who were spiritually grown and like actually did that growth and self-development. Whereas now there's a lot of conversation about people don't respect their elders. They don't see it as the wise old people anymore. And sure, that could be a deeper conversation, but I more so just mean that as like the concept and that feeling and looking at someone as old and wise comes from that growth.
Yeah.
Did they actually change?
I was going to say, because most of what we experience when people say that nowadays is their beliefs.
Yeah.
And what faith they have.
Yep.
And don't disrespect because you don't have the same beliefs versus I'm now going to, I'm wise because I've had that mental growth. I've had those moments of, oh, wow, this happened because that needed to happen because I got here and seeing the beauty in that, even though those things may have been hard or traumatic or whatever case may have happened, but you now love yourself in the moment because it's like, I made it through that. I'm here. I grew from that. I have things to keep, like you said, things to shed. And then having just that wise aura of like, I've been through that and I can give you just the support that you need to get through it too. And not like, oh, you don't share the same beliefs as me, kind of thing. You know what I mean? Like it's all stemmed around that and not growth.
I feel like it ties back to seeing the person as they are instead of as their age. And like I kept seeing as this person who's gone through this growth and they're this elder, wise elder, I see them as like a mentor, right? Because they give you that mutual respect. They see you where you are. They meet you where you are and help you through that growth with like a guiding hand versus more of like authoritative leader of like
Manipulation,
I am older,
and control.
yeah, you are younger, therefore I deserve more respect than you, and don't actually meet you where you're at and just
or
tell you what
earned
to do.
the respect.
Right.
Yeah. Right there.
Yeah.
Man, some good cards.
Yeah. Did you see anything else with that card?
Yeah. How I interpret it was totally just what I said earlier, which was love yourself today. But when we talked about that, that's, doesn't matter who you're going to be in the future because hasn't happened yet or what you did in the past. It's love yourself today. Love your growth.
Yeah.
And still keep striving. Age is just, a number.
At the end of the day, age is a concept.
It is. All right, the side card. That doesn't really count as a card, but is a card. The Magician. You got the spark. Creation is the name of the game, whether you pour your energy into a new life cycle or creative project. This is a time for pulling in all of your resources to manifest your desires. Your toolbox is complete with anything you could ever need, and if it isn't, the right tools will appear exactly when you need them. You are resourceful and constantly find innovative solutions to problems with grace and ease. The universe has your back and will provide you with the power to manifest your desires in the external world. Infinite opportunities are available as you continue to flow. Be clear about your intentions and use them to fuel purposeful action. The more specific you are, the more you magnetize your creative energy and manifest magic. Claim your power.
I think that that's just driving home the factor of being grateful and being within the now.
Oh, okay, yeah. It was the your toolbox is complete and you have everything that you desire right now. And if you don't, they will come to you when you need them. And I feel like there's that feeling of, you're getting there, you're obtaining the desire, and then eventually you get to the point where it feels like you lost it. The what ifs, the reflection, there's that intercrossing between the two. And it's like no matter where you are in that moment, you have everything that you need right now. You don't need something from the past. Nothing needed to change. You don't need to be somewhere else now, and you have exactly everything you need right now.
Yeah. That's what I heard. Like the now. The look in the mirror now.
Yeah, and just having that reflection of everything you've gained through your growth and everything you're going to gain as you continue to grow.
Just live every moment, day by day. Don't let time pass you by. Just be a part of it.
I want to touch a little bit more, like, live in the moment, but know that not every moment is going to be a high. It's going to be a low. And it's sitting in that low and living in that moment. That's one of the hardest things to do.
Yeah. You got to give yourself a hug. You're going to get through it. And I mean that in the most, actual, true, sincere way, not in the everything's going to be okay. Truly, sincerely, it will all be okay. You will get through this. And you are here now. And in a moment, you won't be.
Yeah, it's kind of...
Oh,
sorry.
You're good.
Kind of something that I have to tell myself that helps me ease my anxiety is, like, this too shall pass. Is one of those things that I say. It's like, okay, we're feeling this, but it's okay. Because especially with my anxiety, because, like, my anxiety, a lot of it centers in my chest. And it gets really hard for me to breathe and to talk. And my chest is just heavy and tight. And so I constantly have to tell myself, like, okay, this isn't permanent. This will pass.
Yeah.
And I just got to, get through right now, and then it will pass. Normally I have to figure out why. Or I just have to, sometimes I will never know the why.
Yeah. Sometimes just
there's that too.
It,
yep.
That's enough.
Yep. And giving myself that time. Like, that's something that I've been being really good at, is allowing myself, when I'm feeling those ways, having the space that I need to have, because I know if I push myself through it, I'm not going to be the person that I need to be in those moments that I'm pushing myself through it.
Yeah. It's just, it calls back to that conversation we had before we even started recording with time. And you will be able to move past this, move through this, and get on the other side of this, just like time will keep moving, the seasons will change. Because what called me back to that is, for me, I feel that a lot with my seasonal depression. And that knowing that I will get through this, there will literally be sun again soon and brighter days. And I'm going to make it through it, just like I have before, and the time before that, and the time before that. And I think that only solidifies more as we get older.
Yep.
Yeah.
And how to perfectly tie to a future episode at the end of this month when we talk about the changing of the seasons and time.
Yeah.
perfect.
I'm excited about that conversation.
Yeah.
Me too.
I think that'll be a good one. So I do want to just put a note. Please share your interpretations of the card and the readings of each card, because, you know, like, we had a different perspective, and there's got to be so many other different perspectives out there.
Yes.
And I love to hear them.
Yeah.
And grow, honestly. Like, you grow from other people's stories and perspectives. It opens your mind to opportunities or concepts that you never thought of. And so I highly encourage you to share them wherever. We will love it no matter what. If it's on a TikTok you just see that's one of our old ones or whatever, just share it, please.
Yes, like you said, having those different perspectives, that's probably my favorite part of having conversations like this.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah.
I'm right with you.
Absolutely. As long as they're healthy.
Yes.
Yes.
No mean.
Yes. Yes. No judgments, no nothing.
Love and light.
Love. Peace and love.
Live, laugh, love.
High vibes only. No, all the vibes. Well, some of the vibes. Maybe good vibes.
Good vibes only.
But also, like, you can have your negative days in the vibes. Like, not that kind of vibes. Vibes.
Anti-toxic vibes.
Yeah, there we go.
Toxic vibes with the circle and cross.
Perfect.
Thanks for joining us on another episode of Unfiltered 3. Remember, we release new episodes every Monday. But if that's not enough, connect with us on our socials at Unfiltered 3, where we can uplift, inspire, and embark on this journey together. Thank you for listening and for being a part of our community. Until next time, take care and keep shining your authentic light. Bye, guys.
Bye.